All right, thank you, Adam. We're over here with Jim Clausen of Sit Means Sit and Rocco the Wonder Dog. You know that's your new name. I'm sorry, I ruined it. Last week we talked a little bit about housebreaking your dog, but there's a lot of other problems that dog owners encounter a lot. Barking is one. I have a dog that likes to jump on people, so these are other things that we wanted to try and help people at home with.
So let's start with how to eliminate any bad habit.
Okay.
New behavior and new science have taught us that we can change any bad habit you can think of without having to punish the dog. So for example, for the last 20 years, if a dog jumped on you, what do most people say to do when the dog jumps up just like this?
I can tell you exactly what my mother does. Every time my dog jumps on her, she goes like this with her knee.
Gives him a knee.
Turns to the side.
Yep.
Right.
So let me tell you why I don't want you to do that.
Okay.
Number one, it's going to break down the relationship between the dog and the humans. Number two, it's going to cause pain and punishment. A big guy like us could crack a dog's ribs, crack their sternum. A lot of bad things could happen should we do that. What I want you to think of when you're eliminating bad habits is, what kind of replacement behavior do I want the dog to do? Because you can't take something away without putting something in its place.
Okay.
So instead of jumping up and giving the dog a knee, ask yourself first, what does the dog want? And what do most dogs want when they jump on you?
They want attention.
They want attention, that's right.
They're happy to see you come home.
So here's what I want the spouses to do. Since your husband's probably not watching, tonight when he gets home from work, meet him in the hallway with your arms out like this. So when he's thinking, oh, I'm going to get attention, and as he gets close, go, boom! And then watch the relationship change.
Right, okay.
But people do it to their dogs all the time. So what you want to think of is, what's the behavior that I want to see the dog do? What's the replacement behavior I want to give the dog? So in my case, when Rocco used to jump all the time, I was constantly thinking, how do I want him to greet people? I want him to sit and be calm. So what I do is I teach him first to sit and to be calm, and then every time he approaches somebody, I'll ask for the sit. When he sits, he's going to get paid. A positive reward, something like a food reward or love and affection or a ball, is going to go a lot further than punishment. Punishment's going to cause a dog to be really apprehensive and back off, and maybe they don't jump on one person.
So that means I need to carry around a bunch of treats in my pocket all the time?
Nope, you can just use love and affection. A lot of people don't want to use treats, and that's okay. It's just catching the dog in the moment when he's thinking about doing something bad, like the jump, placing him into the sit position if you have to take control of his collar, or I brought what we call a house line with us. A house line is simply a small cord that you can put around the dog just to gain control. So every time I go to the door when I get a new dog, I want to teach the dog good behaviors at the door instead of jumping. So I'll ask him to sit, I'll help him into the sit, and then I tell my guests, don't give him love and affection until he sits, because they're not going to have treats on him.
I come in the front door, the dog starts to jump on me. My first reaction that I should do to the dog is?
The victim being jumped on is to freeze.
Okay.
Don't talk, don't touch, don't look at the dog. The homeowner or the dog owner should then take control of the dog, get them into the sit position, and the moment the dog's in the sit position, then he can receive the attention. Because you're always asking yourself, what does he want, what do we want? He wants attention. We want him to be calm. Barking, for example.
Yeah, I was going to say the other big issue, dogs that bark at anything. You hear a noise, immediately go for the barking.
And some dogs are more protective than others, so they're going to alert, and that's okay. And at my house, I teach my dogs, bark 3 times. Dad, someone's here, and then zip it.
You can teach them to talk?
Absolutely.
Dad, someone's here?
just 3 barks.
Okay.
So what I do on the 4th bark is I interrupt the pattern, and again, I put them in the place that I want them to go. So for example, a knock on the door or the doorbell might trigger a dog to bark.
Right.
So what I teach the dog is, what's the replacement behavior that I want to see? Well, at the door, I want to see the dog go to a place, like here we have Rocco up on a little platform. But at your home, it might be a dog bed or a pillow. So I teach the dog, the sound of the doorbell means go to the dog bed and get a reward. And here's how you do it. I start with identifying the dog bed. I'll drop the treat on it, walk the dog over. Works best if the dog is hungry and motivated. So I might skip a meal to do this. Once I get the dog identifying the dog bed as a place to go, then I use the doorbell as the trigger. Old behavior was, hear the doorbell, charge the door barking.
Right.
New behavior is, hear the doorbell, go to the dog bed, get paid. So I put the dog again on my house line, which is simply a 6 to 8 foot soft cord or leash. I set the dog up by having someone ring the doorbell for me. I drop the treat on the dog bed. Ding dong, immediately the dog will start to bark. On the 4th bark, I'll say place, place, and I guide the dog over to the dog bed, and I reward him on the dog bed.
That sounds so much easier than I am sure it probably is.
It really is simple. It really is simple.
About how long is that going to take?
It takes anywhere from 17 to 30 repetitions. So I didn't have anyone to stand out and ring my doorbell 30 times. So what I did is I went down to our local supply store and I bought a wireless doorbell. I found one that had the same tone as my door. And I just put the speaker up by my speaker, I put the button in my pocket, and I was able to get 30 repetitions in about 5 minutes. So it was just push the button, ding dong, go to bed, get the reward. Ding dong, go to bed, get the reward. It didn't take long at all before the ding dong was a trigger to go to bed instead of go to the door and bark.
I get the feeling I'm going to start bringing some dogs in here and we're going to take care of this. I know that many of you have questions. Here's how you can get a hold of Jim or I with your pet questions. There you see the email on the screen, news@kboi2.com, or Jim Clausen at sitmeansit.com. There's your telephone number as well. Jim will be back next week and we'll have more on your dogs for then. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.